Hey, Kent, good morning. How are you? Welcome to Nemo Nation. It's good to have you. How is the world treating you?
Well, I had a glitch on my end with my phone. It wouldn't ring when you guys were coming through, so I'm terribly, terribly sorry for being a little tardy. Hope that's not a sign for the week, when you start your Monday off, running a little behind.
Yeah. By the way, I'll make you feel better, Kent. Dave and I get paid to talk for a living, so we somehow managed to muddle through to the other side. It's great to have you, man. Welcome aboard to your first Nemo Nation. I'll let Dave take it from here.
You can only use the phone excuse 3 times, though, Kent, so there's one down.
Okay. There's one down. I'll make a note of that so I don't use it again.
Our friend Eric Sawyer was with us last week from the California Trucking Association.
Yep.
And we talked about, from the ground zero perspective, we talked about the Advanced Clean Fleets rollback and all of that. You guys, though, you and the NTA, Nebraska Trucking Association, and the industry there in Nebraska, you guys put together a coalition of 16 other states and really had a pushback wall going there. So at this point, Ken, I think maybe the next step is, what is the next step? Because there has to be a next step. We just can't just get rid of something and say, okay, they're done with that. Wait a minute, there has to be something to come out of that. So has the dust cleared out at this point enough to start focusing on next steps? And will the coalition kind of hold together through the process? Because it'll be years.
Well, I can tell you the coalition is holding together, and we have not withdrawn our lawsuit yet. The agreement that we currently have with CARB says that we kind of hit a pause button on the lawsuit to give CARB a chance, and CARB, of course, is California Air Resources Board, to give CARB a chance to repeal the Advanced Clean Fleet rules. And we gave them a deadline in October for where they had to clearly get that process rolling, because it does take time. When you go through a long process to pass any kind of regs or any kind of laws. Well, you got to take time and go through a process to take those away. And we've been waiting and waiting to make sure that they were going to start that process. And I'm glad to report that they actually beat by a month the deadline for getting that process started. They published just last week a notice that the repeal of the Advanced Clean Fleet rules is on their agenda so that they can begin to accept public comment and go through all of that. So it's an encouraging sign, certainly, that they are doing those things like they promised us they would do in order to get us to put the lawsuit on the shelf, but it's still there. And both the judge and our coalition are watching. And if for whatever reason it wouldn't, then we are absolutely right back in the game, and we pick up where we left off.
Guys, if you're just joining us, President and CEO of the Nebraska Trucking Association, Kent Grisham, joins us this morning here on Nemo Nation. Just want to let people know, because we're having a little bit of a mass tack here. Kent got a chance to drop in after a little bit of a phone glitch, but we're glad we have him on. Dave, if you would be so kind, continue, please.
So we have the courtroom, but then we also have the court of public opinion. And there are 2 arguments, and the ironic thing is, both sides of this argument are really heading for the same goal: cleaner air, cleaner water, healthier lives, and a sustainable planet. So we know that. But it's very easy to say, we want all electric trucks, get rid of diesel because that's going to be better for the world and better for the people in it. And you can't argue with that because it's true. But it can't. Okay. And on your side of it, is, no, we need to roll back this regulation and that regulation and stop this until this happens, blah, 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 because from the actual practical side of it, you can't do this until you do that. We get into all of this.
We're not going to shut down the economy because that would be a disaster. So let's figure out a way that we can somehow meet in the middle and get this done.
That's a hard sell. That's a very hard sell.
That's a tough one. People say that's a great goal, but that goal actually puts the brakes on everything and makes it impossible to afford anything, correct?
That's absolutely correct. The cost of a new battery electric Class 8 heavy-duty truck, like you see going down the road, to replace a diesel Class 8 truck is going to triple or quadruple the cost. And, that's just not something you can tell an industry like trucking to do. We don't tell any industry, hey, we're going to place these mandates on you and it's going to quadruple your cost, but boy, you better not cause that to ripple through the economy. Well, it has to.
Yeah. No, we're laughing, not in humor. That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, and look, there's another relatively easy fix, and that is getting rid of the excise tax, which which is obviously a bigger discussion. We'd love to have you back and kind of dig into that too.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that taxes that get passed and get put on, even those that have sunset rules written into them, they don't ever go away. They really don't. Yeah. And the excise tax of 12% on the price of any truck or trailer, that was to pay for World War I. And
we won it, by the way. Kent, we won that.
Yeah, we won that one.
Tractor
and I
trailers
think we came
didn't
up
even
with ways.
exist during the years of World War I.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
So, and we realize the industry realizes that we would need to try to replace the revenue because that money ostensibly goes into roads, but it adds 12% to the cost of every truck. Well, if you need people to be investing in new trucks, which we do, that's one of the arguments that we were making. We're not anti-electric truck. There will come a day when we've had the time to develop the technology to make it affordable, to have the infrastructure put into place that will serve that kind of a fleet that has to move in efficient and practical ways. We can do those things over time, and I think we will. But in the meantime, a new truck today is essentially 98 to 99% emission-free because of the technology that already exists today.
Ken, I am going to ask a boon of you. Would you promise me, and we'll figure out all the glitches and the technical stuff. Can you come back next week so we can talk about tort reform in more detail? Is that possible?
Sure.
We're gonna have you back on. We'll have Claire reach out to you. We'll set this up for next week because this format basically is merciless in its march forward. But we can't tell you how much we appreciate you actually making the effort to call us. Kent Grisham, President and CEO of the Nebraska Trucking Association, Inc., Truck Services, Inc., and Nebraska Trucking Foundation, Inc. Is a lot of great stuff to dig into, my friend. We are glad to have you. Thank you for making the time.
You bet.